Hello and welcome to this video where we will go through the scales in OPTO. But let's start with some facts about OPTO. OPTO is a normative personality test, meaning that we structure the questions in the test in a specific way. The test participant is presented with one statement at a time and responds on a scale from does not apply at all to applies very well. This is what's known as the normative format. When the person has answered a series of such statements, we receive a result consisting of 20 aspects. These can be summarized at a higher level into our 8 dimensions, and we will look at all of these shortly. OPTO is based on the 5-factor model, allowing us, even at the aspect level, to examine which 5-factor trait each aspect measures. OPTO is also a performance filter. This isn't something we can claim without evidence, and we've proven it in various ways. What it means is that through some of our scales, we can distinguish efficiency between different results. This allows us to indicate that certain candidates will perform more effectively than others who scores lower on these particular scales. These scales relate back to the trait in the 5-factor model known as conscientiousness. To clarify, logical ability is still the best tool for predicting future performances, but if we also want to evaluate this in behaviors, we can do so in OPTO. Finally, we have what we call the person-job fit, which refers to the match between the candidate and the position, how well a certain job fits a person. Each candidate receives a match percentage, making it even easier to select the right person to move forward in the recruitment process. This is valuable whether you have 200 applicants or are working with sourcing and may only have one. Through person-job fit, we can also see what challenges the candidate might face if they don't match the position very well, making this aspect important. Perhaps even more so when you have fewer candidates rather than more. Here's what the structure looks like schematically. The groups are named People, Operation, and Exploration. The blue sections in the middle are the dimensions, and the aspects appear in gray at the bottom. We'll go through each of them in more detail. The first dimension, influence, is measured by assertiveness, communication, and confidence. Assertiveness measures the degree to which one takes the lead. How decisive am I? How much do I take charge? High scores here are often beneficial for managerial roles where clear, direct leadership is essential. For example, high-ranking military officers who needs to be this decisive. In certain industries, it's also more common. When it's crucial that people listen to you and follow your direction, we expect a high score on this aspect. Coaching managers may benefit from scores around 4, 5, 6, or 7. Which allows space for others and emphasizing listening. Moving on to communication, which measures the degree to which one is expressive, not how well one expresses oneself, but how much one does. High scores, 8, 9, 10, on communication are expected in roles such as public speakers, actors, and certain types of salespeople who need to be highly expressive. Certain managerial roles that require frequent speaking also benefit from high scores here. This trait also includes a persuasion element, so keep that in mind. The last aspect under influence is confidence, which measures the degree to which one is self-assured, especially in social settings. People with high scores here feel comfortable and at ease even if they suddenly find themselves in the spotlight. They tend to enjoy mingling and feel comfortable in new social situations with many people. Generally, a high score here can be advantageous, but it becomes particularly important in roles where one must speak publicly, persuade others, convey ideas, or inspire people to follow their lead. So that was influence. Now we'll look at resilience. It's measured by stability and stress management, focusing on dealing with pressure and stress, but in 2 different ways. Stability measures the degree to which one keeps composure. A high score here indicates strong emotional control. A person can keep a cool head and set aside feelings of stress and frustration without showing much outward emotion. This trait is crucial in roles like emergency service personnel, police officers, surgeons, pilots, or negotiators. Positions where staying calm and keeping emotions in check is essential. Stress management measures how well high pressure is handled. If someone enjoys and thrives in an environment with a constant high workload and frequent new tasks, they will likely score high here. This is, again, relevant for high-stress roles such as emergency services personnel and surgeons, but also applies to roles like stockbrokers, where the ability to handle intense, ongoing pressure is needed. Moving on to the dimension cooperation. It includes the aspects altruism, networking, and trust. Altruism measures the degree to which one is supportive, how much time and focus are dedicated to helping others throughout the workday. While it can be admirable to be highly supportive, this only aligns well with roles where supporting others is a part of the job. If it isn't, spending time helping others could detract from one's own tasks, which may not be productive. This potential pitfall exists when a high score conflicts with what the actual role requires. The job requirements always determine which score is most appropriate. High scores in altruism are ideal for roles like coach, psychologist, customer services, and other service-related jobs where listening to and supporting others is central. Networking measures how one cultivates relationships, with a strong emphasis on extraversion from the 5-factor model. A high score here indicates someone who enjoys working with others and gains energy from social interactions. They thrive on meeting new people. It's important to note that we're not measuring social skills, which is learnable, but rather where one derives energy. High scores in networking are essential for roles like sales, event hosting, and other customer-facing or sales-oriented positions where frequent interactions with new people is common, such as baristas, waiters, and receptionists. The final aspect in this group is called trust, which measures belief in the honesty of others, how trusting one is. It might seem intuitive that psychologists will score high here, but that's not necessarily the case. Instead, high trust is often found in service and sales roles where supporting others is the primary focus, and there's little need to question others' honesty. These are roles where giving people a second or even a third chance is acceptable when mistakes occur. Positions that don't require vigilance or critical approach. That concludes the first group. The middle group is called operation and includes the dimensions efficiency, delivery, and compliance, all of which are strongly aligned with the 5-factor dimension of conscientiousness. Efficiency is measured by the aspects drive, goal orientation, and industriousness. Drive measures commitment to ensuring progress, the degree to which one pushes forward, ensuring things don't come to a halt. High scores here are critical for some roles but beneficial for most. A person with a high drive score will likely be more efficient than someone with a low score. However, this behavior isn't without potential pitfalls. For instance, if someone constantly pushes others to keep moving, it can become overwhelming depending on how it's expressed. So, a higher score is advantageous strictly from an efficiency perspective, but should be balanced based on the demands on the role. Goal orientation measures the focus on achieving results, reaching the finishing line, while drive measures pushing forward. Goal orientation specifically gauges the desire to drive towards defined objects. Here, the focus is on the goal itself. Individuals with a high score set ambitious targets for themselves and often for their colleagues as well, making this trait especially valuable in roles with key performance indicators such as sales positions. Elite athletes will also likely score high on this scale. The final aspect is industriousness, and it measures diligence and self-discipline. When people talk about self-leadership, this is essentially what they mean. A person with a high score in industriousness will steadily work through tasks, even when more enticing tasks come up. They complete what they start and do so thoroughly. Like other traits, this is essential across many roles. The middle dimension is delivery, measured by the aspects structure and quality assurance. Structure measures the degree to which someone is organized, orderliness and planning. Generally, a high score here is adventurous, particularly in roles involving law compliance or preparing for critical tasks, such as setting up instruments for a surgery. Certain industries, such as medicine and life science, may also place extra importance on high scores in structure. Quality assurance measures thoroughness and attention to detail. Roles that require high scores in this aspect are those where precision is essential, such as in fields where centimeters, millimeters, or even nanometers matter. Positions like software developers, accountants, and risk analysts in banking are examples where perfection and meticulousness are critical. The last dimension is called compliance and is measured by dutifulness and sincerity. These aspects are a bit more nuanced. Dutifulness measures the degree to which one does what is expected, making it relatively straightforward. This trait is generally important across all roles, as there are few, if any, positions where a passive behavior, scores 1, 2, 3, is beneficial. However, there are roles where a medium score still may be acceptable. The aspect sincerity is the hardest for us to measure and perhaps also the hardest to grasp. It measures the degree to which one is genuine and honest. For someone with a high score, it's extremely important to be and appear honest and authentic. With that said, a low score doesn't imply dishonesty. It doesn't mean that the person necessarily lies or manipulates. Rather, it suggests that they might not invest as much time or focus on displaying their honesty. You could say that they approach the truth with a bit more flexibility. We can also illustrate this scale with the following example. If you are in a store and pay with cash, and it turns out that you receive too much change back, which you only realize when you get home, someone with a high score in sincerity would likely return to give the extra money back, even if it's a small amount. Someone with a low score might instead think that they've probably overpaid at some point, that things will balance out, and may choose not to return the money. For those with a high score, it's simply important that others and themselves recognize them as an honest person. High scores in sincerity contribute to more ethical behavior and are particularly crucial in roles related to security, IT security, and senior leadership positions within an organization. Whistleblowers also tend to score high on this scale. Now we come to the last group. It's called exploration. The group includes the dimensions agility and innovation. Agility is measured by the aspects intellect and problem solving. Intellect measures openness to new knowledge, which is crucial in roles that involve constant inventions. Many IT roles require a high score in this area, as technology continuously advances, and keeping up while finding joy in learning is essential. This trait has become increasingly important over the past 10 to 15 years, as adaptability to change has become more critical in a rapidly evolving world. Problem-solving measures believe in one's ability to handle complexity. Someone with a high score here enjoys working with complex issues and wants to engage with them regularly. However, a strong interest in problem-solving doesn't necessarily indicate skill in it. To assess actual problem-solving ability, we need a cognitive test like ACE or CORE. OPTO only reflects the interest and energy derived from solving problems, not skill level. High scores in this trait are valuable in roles that involve significant problem-solving, such as many positions in IT and R&D. The final dimension is innovation, measured by the aspects adaptability, ingenuity, and risk-taking. Adaptability measures adjustment to change. So high scores are common among change consultants, management consultants, researchers, and R&D teams. It's also valuable in marketing and IT roles. However, as with the other traits, this score reflects enjoyment and openness to change, not necessarily skill, which we would need to assess separately. Ingenuity measures the degree to which one has original ideas, essentially a measure of creativity. High scores in ingenuity are often found in artistic fields, R&D, marketing and development roles, as well as with fashion designers and similar creative professions. The final aspect is risk-taking, which measures the desire to be enterprising and energized by taking risks. High scores here indicate a tendency to take risks, even without knowing the exact consequences. This trait is commonly found in entrepreneurs, stockbrokers, and similar roles where risk-taking is a core part of the job. These are our 20 aspects, and they hold the key to understanding which candidate will best fit a given role, making it well worth diving deeper into. That's all for today. If you have any questions, you'll likely find many answers on the OPTO support page. The link is provided here to the right. You're also welcome to reach out to us. You can do so by phone on +46 8 32 42 42 or via email at support@master.se. Thank you for watching.